The moment you begin to change the conditions of your mind is the moment you begin to attract all the money that you wish to manifest. And what I've learned within the past 2 years of me manifesting money is that there are 3 main things that you have to do to change the conditions of your mind so you can start manifesting money. Now, the first thing you have to do is begin to gain control of how you direct your attention. We have lived most of our lives on autopilot, like we're programmed to react at all times. If something bad happens, our first response is to either get angry or get frustrated, and then we just keep feeding the bad situations and the bad events our attention. But the issue is, the more you keep feeding your attention to what frustrates you, the more you keep attracting what keeps you frustrated. For example, there was a time in my business where I wasn't getting enough clients. It was like for 2 or 3 months where I would spend money on advertising and what I would get back was not ideal at all. So let's say if I spent $6,000 on an ad, what I would end up making from that ad would be like $3,000, which for anybody with an average IQ would understand that this is bad. And during that time, instead of me of just sitting down and trying to think of a plan and think clearly and not react, what I would do is the complete opposite. I would throw a fit, I would get angry, I would sometimes even put out my anger on my brother or anybody around me. It even got to a point where people tried to avoid me because I was always in this low vibrational state. And it wasn't until I decided to sit down with myself, clear my mind, empty my mind for a second, direct my attention back to me and become an observer instead of a reactor is the moment I began to see improvements. Because when I became an observer instead of a reactor, ideas began to pop up. I knew exactly what I had to do and I knew exactly what I had to stop doing. And the more I kept doing that every single day, the more clients started to come in, the more money that I started to make. It got to a point where at my best month, I made $26,000. And that was the best month that I ever had in business. And it was all because I finally decided to not let the world have my attention, but instead have me be in control of everything. So what you should do is that every time something bad happens or something doesn't go your way, don't react. Instead, pay close attention to how you react. Are you an observer or are you gonna give out what frustrates you, your energy? If your bank account is running low, instead of worrying too much about the digits in your bank account, tell yourself that this is not a lasting situation and it shall pass by. Every time you go by the mindset that it shall pass by and you just stay centered and aware of how you react to things, the more things will begin to unfold your way. Because I promise you, the more you keep trying to change your circumstances from an anxious, a worried, or a frustrated point of view, the more you just keep attracting more of what upsets you. So every single day, begin to condition yourself to just do nothing but be aware. Be aware of how you think, how you feel, be aware of your surroundings, be aware of the people around you, and just observe and do nothing. And I promise you, the more you keep doing that, the more you'll be able to condition the mind to not react, but to become an observer. Because at the end of the day, you are not your mind. You give power to your mind. You get to choose where your attention goes. So if you let that idea just get rooted in your mind, that you have control over your thoughts, over your emotions, and over your attention, and you keep practicing stillness and awareness on a day-to-day basis, I promise you, you will be the one in power over every circumstance of your life. Now, that's the first thing you have to change. Now, the second thing is changing your mental atmosphere. Now, of course, we've talked about your attention and why it's important to have control of your attention. Now we kind of move to the second part of it, which is how your attention affects your mental atmosphere, because your mental atmosphere is what attracts circumstances and events into your life. So for example, if you're trying to attract success into your life, you would need to have the mental atmosphere of success and abundance. And the way you change your mental atmosphere is by changing your mental attitude. Now, what is the mental attitude? The mental attitude is your thoughts and feelings. What goes on in here and is felt in here and persisted in long enough becomes your mental atmosphere. So of course, now that you've changed your attention and you're able to direct your attention, now you can take your attention and put it somewhere that actually benefits you. And the way you do it is by begin to think of only what you want to attract. Now, I want to make something very clear. By thinking, I don't just mean affirmations, because sometimes people would say affirmations, but they don't actually feel it. And the secret is the feeling. If you feel an affirmation, it becomes your mental atmosphere. And if you persist in it, then that affirmation will keep attracting to you what you want to attract. And what I've learned with my experience is that it's best to think of a word associated with the mental atmosphere that you want before you think of an actual actual affirmation. So let's say if you're trying to manifest money, one word is wealth, because each word has energy to it, because it has meaning. And the meaning of wealth is money, success, and all that sort of stuff. And what I've learned is that the best thing you can do is honestly just sit down, close your eyes, and begin to just meditate on a word associated with how you want your mental atmosphere to be. And as soon as you begin to meditate on the term wealth and you begin to feel it in your heart, you begin to feel like a sensation in your heart. The moment you feel that sensation, let it expand throughout your body. So imagine that term expanding throughout your body, that you begin to feel like as if you're actually wealthy. Then you can start saying affirmations like, I am wealthy, I'm successful, I am attracting X amount of money every single month. Whatever the affirmation is, repeat it. Not just mentally, but feel it in your heart. Now, I want to make something very clear, which is that you need to persist in this every single day. So first start by picking a word, meditating on it, embodying it, and then create affirmations around it, and then create visions around it so you can begin to visualize those scenes and those images to begin to condition the mind as if these visions and the identity that you're trying to embody is the actual truth. Because if you just try to do it maybe once every week or try to skip over it, then I promise you, you'll just keep attracting more of what you're trying to avoid, which is not having money. Now, the third thing you have to do is make sure that you take action. This is a step that a lot of people would like to avoid. I don't know why they like to avoid it. I think people just have been lied to about manifestation. People were told that all you have to do is just think a thought, feel it, and then do that long enough until the universe brings you what you want. That's not how life works. If you're trying to attract something into your life, you need to take action. And you do that by using your mind. Because now, if you've learned of how to control your attention, you can now control your attention to start moving forward, to start putting one foot in front of the other to finally get you to your destination. There's multiple phases to manifestation. First, it begins mentally, then it becomes energetically, then it's transformed physically. And you could be doing everything right, like meditating and changing your mental state and changing your mental atmosphere. But at the same time, you could attract nothing because you're not putting in the work for it. Now, I know some people may not know what kind of action to take, and that's completely fine. You know, most of us don't really have a clear end destination to achieve. We just have a general idea of what we want. But what I always say in all of my videos, you can literally watch all my past videos, and if there's one thing I'm persistent in, is that you can either manifest money and take action by helping others or doing what you love. If you have love and passion for something, grow it to something bigger. If you love reading books, write a book. If you love making videos, make more videos. If you love doing art, do whatever lights you up. But if you don't really have anything that you love, which was my case in my journey, then you can just go down the path of helping other people, which is exactly what I did. My first ever business was me helping other businesses getting clients. And then when I shut that down because I didn't really like the business and I started something that resonated with my story, I actually began to manifest more and more money. And the business that I've been running for the past 2 years now is me helping people with anxiety, because I was the person who had anxiety and a lot of panic attacks, and I was able to solve that problem. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, if I'm able to solve that problem, why not go out there and help people also solve that problem? And that's exactly what I did. So figure out a problem in your life that you have been able to solve and go out there and help people that you can resonate with solve that exact same problem. But moral of the story is that you have to take action. You first have to control your attention, then redirect your attention to changing your mental attitude. So then that mental attitude can change your mental atmosphere, which is the aura around your body. And then lastly, you have to take action by putting one foot in front of the other to begin attracting what you want. I hope I wasn't yapping a lot in this video. If you need more information on exactly how to manifest money, you can watch all my past videos, which I know will benefit you greatly. Or I could offer you something even better. You can go ahead and check the link down below, where you can check all the proof of everything that I'm mentioning in this video and everything that I've mentioned in my past videos. You can see how much I make on a monthly basis. And if you also want to be able to manifest that kind of money on a monthly basis, you can go ahead and book a call with me, and I'm more than happy to see how I can help you. But I want to make something very clear, which is that I don't just teach people how to manifest. I don't teach people how to use the law of attraction. I teach them to change their mental attitudes, to change their limiting beliefs, and also make sure that they take action by building a business so they're able to manifest money through it. So if that's something that interests you, I'm more than happy to help you. If you don't want to work with me and you just want to watch videos and take notes, you can just rewatch that video and go and watch all my past videos, which, like I mentioned, I know will benefit you greatly.